Hello everyone, welcome to this week's edition of The Weekly Sting. I'm Joe Hutzler, and before we get to our first guest, it's time to remind you of our social media outlets for you to follow and have all the access you need, especially for this coming weekend and the ODAC Championships. You can see the social media pages on your screen. You can find all that information at lynchburgsports.com. Now, without further ado, our first guest of the show this week is Miss Caitlyn Dodd. Caitlyn?
Hello.
Thanks for coming on the show. Really
Thanks
appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
I know that time is of the essence for you and for the team that you're a part of, women's soccer, and you're in a bit of an interesting situation in that you get to see this team in both the student side of it, because you're a student and you room with them and you see the team in that way, but you also have to look at them from a coaching standpoint and being on the sideline. And when you see both of those, what's the toughest part about balancing it and being able to come on the field and say, okay, last night was great, a little sleepover, that's fine, but now you got to listen to me because I have some advice and it would help you out?
You know, it is difficult sometimes, but you know, a lot of the team now kind of sees me when we're at a game or at practice. They say, "Oh my, okay, like I'm going to listen to that and see how it goes." And then sometimes they also bring it up to coach, see what he has to say about it as well. And normally it's kind of the same things, but you know, it's always difficult at first getting some of the older players that know me more of a student standpoint, and then my first year as a player standpoint, to kind of understand it. But a lot of them have been really awesome about it and really taking things in. And you know, I mean, what the heck? It could be. Once in a while, it could be right. So.
Every once in a while.
Yeah.
We all have to be right at some point, right?
Yeah.
When you do look at it from a coaching standpoint, what do you think this team possesses that they can actually go out here and win the 7th straight ODAC title for the program? Because there's a sense around the league and the nation that there's a chance here for everybody else to catch up. But obviously, I think the student athletes that I'm around don't feel that way. Is it that way consistently across the board?
Yeah, I think 100%. It's very, very consistent across the board. You know, we had a few hiccups in the beginning, which I think we kind of needed as a team to see who we truly are and see what all we needed to really work on this season to be successful. And from the point where we were to the point where we are now, we are definitely a much different team and a much better team all around, and definitely on the rise at the right time.
Do you look at anything specific after that rough patch that allowed you guys to turn it around positively and finish the season as strong as you did? Was there a moment that you can think of?
You know, I think it all started with losing to Hannah. That was a big shock to everybody. It was a big kind of shock to the whole team in the playing aspect, not just in the personal aspect.
Right.
You know, Hannah and Caitlyn have been working so well together up top, and then to have that taken away and put in, you know, freshman Allie Rudy up there, and then Rachel Cook from the center mid up to a forward. It was very different, but at this point we've had a lot of practice with it, we've had a lot of games with it, and everything's just starting to click now, and it's starting to mesh all together, and it's becoming really good.
At the right time, for sure.
Yes.
The ODAC tournament. And you know, you never want to see players get hurt, especially for the rest of the year. You don't want to lose games either, but it seems to me like there was good timing, if you can say that, for when it did happen, so you guys were able to rebound, and the chemistry seems to be better at the forward spot as well. You know,
yes.
It seems like everybody's on the same page now instead of feeling each other out during the game. So, I mean, I'm biased, but I think you guys will be fine coming up this weekend, but we'll see. Their game tomorrow is at 3 o'clock against the Virginia Wesleyan Marlins. So hopefully another team which you tied in the regular season can score some goals in that one. Now,
yes.
We already mentioned you being a student. You are closer and closer every day to walking across the stage. I know it's anxiety just like takes over in that moment. What's something that you want to do with your time here at Lynchburg College? And it doesn't have to be with your degree, but just the things that you've experienced. Where do you want to go after graduation?
I don't know where I want to go yet. You know, I definitely think I want to start off in the coaching position.
Okay.
I want to coach somewhere, whether it's a graduate assistant position or it's just jumping straight into an assistant coach role somewhere. Definitely looking forward to that, but also here I'm ready to leave a legacy behind before stepping out of that. You know, coming through a school and coming through a program that's so as good as Lynchburg, every player can get wrapped up in what the team's done and how many ODACs and how many national titles and how many times we've gone to the tournament itself.
Right.
But personally, with everything that's happened in my life and my personal story, it'll be cool to leave a legacy behind of that strength and that courage, and just letting coach instill that to players to come, and to have that left here would be pretty cool.
I like that a lot. That's a great. It's not an answer you get all the time. It's usually, well, I want to go here. I want to be a doctor, or lawyer, or whatever. I like that. That's even better, in my opinion. And you brought up the personal story of yours, which we have, done on our end to let people know about it. But in those 25 surgeries and the kidney transplant and everything that your family and your friends have done for you, what do you take away from that personally that you say, okay, because of all these trials and tribulations, I'm this person now? What's one big thing that you can shine a light on in that respect? With stories like mine and stories like others around that people may not know, you can look at life in one of two ways. You can go the oh me, oh my way and say my life sucks, or you can take it in the light of, okay, I've been given a second chance and a third chance and a fourth chance, and kind of be thankful for that, and like bring your strength onto other people, and make people see that you can't take things for granted, because so easily everything can be taken away from you when you don't even realize it. And that is something that a lot of people your age especially just don't understand. So I think you'd be better off for that. The last two things I want to get to. First one is your love of swimming with animals.
Yes.
Which to my head is like, oh, what does she mean by that? So are you talking about like sea animals or lakes with turtles? What are you talking about?
I'm a big snorkeler.
Oh, okay.
Big underwater photographer. I'm getting into scuba diving soon, so
nice.
Hopefully getting that certification very soon. We go on a lot of family trips once in a while to kind of be together. And
a little bonding.
Big thing we love to do is go snorkeling.
Okay.
And so love swimming with different fish, a lot of turtles once in a while. Manatees. Swam with a manatee once or twice.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, they're pretty.
It's like swimming with another human, or even bigger.
Yeah.
Well, you knew this was coming, and we don't have the audience today that we did before, but I have to ask you about your special talent, which some people have different answers for this, but yours is pretty simple in that you can touch your nose with your tongue, correct?
Yes.
So
yes, I can.
Because of that, we have to have you do that to prove it. I mean, that's what we're in. That's the business that we're in. You got to prove what you say. So if you can look into this camera, and I'll give you a countdown.
Okay.
You can give yourself a moment of 15 minutes of fame right here. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna give you 5 seconds. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom! Just like that. Wasting no time. She was all over it. I like that. Quick, to the point. Done. Good job overall. Thank you for your time, Caitlyn.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Great story and great ride so far.
So far.
Women's soccer, let's keep it going and be playing on Sunday. We'll be there for that too.
Yes,
awesome.
Yes. Can't wait.
Thank you so much. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll hear from Ryan Pikunas of men's soccer.
It's on us, every Hornet, to stand up for one cause, to stand up against sexual assault.
To have the knowledge necessary to identify when sexual assault may occur.
To show integrity when confronted with a domestic violence conflict.
Where consent has not or cannot be given.
To create a community where sexual assault is unacceptable.
To provide service to survivors who need our support.
To embrace diversity and to provide a safe atmosphere for all Hornets.
Regardless of race, sexual orientation, gender, or ability.
To engage others on the importance of sexual assault awareness.
To value the tradition of standing up for others when they reach out.
To be consistent with our message, never wavering what is unacceptable. It's on us to stand up to sexual assault at Lynchburg College. We are one nation, and it's on us.
It's on us. It's on us.
It's on us.
It's on us.
It's on us.
Zaxby's food has always brought people together, catering to the big moments, the little wins, the long talks, and the quick getaways. Because food this inviting is bound to add a lot of flavor to your life.
Introducing the Zax Pack. Served with chicken fingers, sides, Texas toast, and iced tea. Pick one up for dinner or your next event. Friends, family, flavor. Zaxby's. Indescribably good.
Welcome back, everyone, to this week's edition of the Weekly Sting. As we get ready set for our second guest, we wanted to ask you this week's Hornet trivia question. And this week it is related to the 4 teams that are in action this weekend. We ask you, how many times in the last 5 years have both soccer teams, volleyball and field hockey, made the ODAC semifinal in the same season? Answer coming up in the third segment. Now, without further ado, let's get to our second guest of the show, Ryan Pikunas from men's soccer. Thanks for coming on the show, man.
Thank you for having me.
Let's begin with the obvious point of reference, which is your game this Saturday against Randolph-Macon. 12 o'clock start for you guys in the semifinal, and you guys are hosting, which is obviously a nice part of it too. But when you're playing a team in Randolph-Macon that you've already played once and you kind of know what to expect with them, does that help you in your preparation, that you don't have to know a brand new opponent?
It definitely does help us in our preparation because we get to know like the couple of guys that are on the team that can hurt us. But I think the main focus, which the coaching staff enforces on us, is going to be on us, making sure we're playing our own game, getting the ball out wide to our guys like Ben, Colin, Freddie, all those guys up top, and making sure we're doing what we're supposed to do to get the win.
Do you guys think about at all the idea of trying to tweak some stuff? Even though it's a playoffs, you might want to show someone like Randolph-Macon something different this time around, or is it, hey, obviously what we've been doing is working for us, let's not tweak it at all?
I think we do tweak some things because obviously if we show up and do the same exact thing, they might be prepared for what we have. So we'll throw a little set piece plays, different plays like throw-ins, long throws, corner kicks. We'll try and throw some different things at them, but obviously we've had a great season and we want to keep doing what we're doing. So it's a little bit of both.
What do you think has been the biggest benefit this season of having a defensive back line that has so much experience together already? Because, you know, people like yourself and Austin, you know, you played last year. You got experience last year on the field. Clay got experience as well. Thomas, obviously, you know, what he does, Thomas Salamone on the back line. The defense, I think, doesn't get as much love as they should because we saw it, case in point, the other night on Wednesday. There were a lot of balls that normally would have got through to the keeper, but they didn't because of what you guys were able to do. So how much of that from last year being together for the majority of you, you know, is a benefit coming into this year as far as feeling things out?
Well, continuity is always good, especially in a back line because it's always a unit, because we're always working in practice on shifting as a unit, making sure we're covering for each other. And even this year when we've had some injuries to some key guys back there, we've had guys stepping into different positions on the back line, like Thomas moving the center back, Austin Q stepping back there even though he was playing midfield in the beginning of the season. Of course, Ricardo moving back there. And yeah, it's just continuity. And of course, every guy's had experience, so we're doing well back there right now.
You've mentioned something to me before, and a lot of players have in certain sports, but the communication is a big thing. And especially it feels like in soccer because you don't have timeouts. You don't have a chance to regroup in a huddle and talk about things. You got to do it on the fly. Are those things that just come naturally to you guys because you've been playing soccer for the majority of your life, or are those actually things that you work on specifically in practice?
We do work on communication in practice because especially in the beginning of the year when we've got a bunch of new guys on the team and guys who haven't played as much in the past, we have to get our communication down. It actually a lot comes from practice and even the coaching staff, making sure that if we're not talking, that we're going to hear it from them. So, yeah, talking is a key issue in the back line. So,
speaking of communication, you would like to be in the business world someday when it's all said and done here at Lynchburg College, and still got time, so let's not rush anything yet. But when you look at people in the business world and you think of the Mark Cubans of the world, and do you have specific people that you look to for inspiration when you're thinking about where you might want to end up someday?
My main source of inspiration has always been my dad in the business world.
Okay.
He's always been forcing me to do my best, and especially in the business world, business school here. So yeah.
What does your dad do?
He's the vice president of sales for Yingling.
The beer company.
Yes.
Okay. So maybe slightly an end there for you to.
Maybe, yeah. I find myself in the beer industry.
Okay.
Got a little source.
Well, and you have someone that can give you advice at any point in time
course.
as well to help you out. Some people might not want to work for their parents or work with their parents. So you're okay with that?
Yeah. My dad, he's a great guy. He's knowledgeable about everything, and he's a great source for business. So.
Well, and that's a great business to be a part of because they've obviously stuck around for a long, long time. America's oldest brewery.
Of course.
Do you have other possibilities? I mean, you think about other ways of getting in the business world, maybe other categories other than the beer industry, of course?
I haven't really thought about it too much as, of course, I'm only a sophomore.
Right.
And I just declared my major this year, so.
Okay.
But definitely something in the business world I want to do, maybe something as a management. I like being a leader, so hopefully something in that field.
Well, speaking of your family, you have a soccer family, for sure. Obviously, you're playing here, and you actually have a brother that plays at Roanoke?
Yes.
What position does he play?
He plays left back, same position as me.
Ah, okay. So, and you guys did get to play on the same field, right?
We did.
Okay.
First time ever.
First time ever?
Playing against him. I've always played with him in high school and things like that. But
Makes sense.
First time playing against him in a competitive match. So.
But you guys didn't have to go one-on-one with each
Nah,
other, did
I
you?
wish, but
okay.
no, we didn't.
And because of that win that you guys had, or tie, I guess, if you will, do you feel like you have the upper hand when it comes to Thanksgiving dinner because your team finished first in the other day?
Of course. Even though we tied that game, we still clinched the regular season. So
right, you're giving a little reminder, right?
Yep.
On that. That's always fun. Now you have 2 more brothers?
I do.
Okay, and they also play soccer?
They do. Yep. Patrick, who's 16, and Quinn, who's 13, and Patrick, hopefully, maybe looking to come here and play. So
really?
We'll see
okay.
how that goes.
Do they all play defense as well?
They do. Well, actually, Patrick plays a little defense, plays a little center mid. So
okay.
Quinn plays left back also. So.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe we get the whole lineage. You know,
yeah,
the
we'll
rest of them come through here. We'll see. Absolutely. I want to know just real quick. We talked about what you want to do possibly when you're done here, and obviously what you do right now soccer-wise. But what else about Ryan Pikunas? What other things do you enjoy? You know, if you have free time, what's the first thing that comes to mind you want to go do and relax in some way?
Definitely go back to my room and watch a little Sports Center. I like to keep up with my sports knowledge.
Okay,
Well,
so you don't believe in there's too much sports.
Nope, I'm a sports fanatic all the way.
Well, if you watch as much Sports Center as there is on every day, then you certainly should know all there is to know about everybody, pretty much. Now, do you have a favorite city or teams? Or?
Yes, I am from Philadelphia, so I'm Philly everything.
Everything?
Eagles, Flyers, Phillies, everything.
Even the Sixers, huh?
Even the Sixers, who struggled in the years past, but got some young guys who are doing well. So.
That is true dedication as a Philly fan, for sure. Well, Ryan, thanks so much for your time, man. Really appreciate it. Good luck this weekend against the Yellow Jackets.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after a short break with Jenny Smith of Field Hockey. Awesome, man.
It's on us, every Hornet, to stand up for one cause, to stand up against sexual assault.
To have the knowledge necessary to identify when sexual assault may occur.
To show integrity when confronted with a domestic violence conflict.
Where consent has not or cannot be given.
To create a community where sexual assault is unacceptable.
To provide service to survivors who need our support.
To embrace diversity and to provide a safe atmosphere for all Hornets.
Regardless of race, sexual orientation, gender, or ability.
To engage others on the importance of sexual assault awareness.
To value the tradition of standing up for others when they reach out.
To be consistent with our message, never wavering what is unacceptable.
It's on us to stand up to sexual assault at Lynchburg College. We are one nation, and it's on us.
It's on us. It's on us.
It's on us.
It's on us.
It's on us.
The Weekly Sting is brought to you by Zaxby's on 221 in Forest, Virginia. Stop by for the best chicken in town from the official chicken of Lynchburg Sports. Welcome back, everyone, to Schellenberger Field here as we get ready for ODAC Championship Weekend on the Weekly Sting. Before we get to our last guest, it's time to answer the Hornet trivia question from this week. In the last segment, we asked you about the 4 teams playing this weekend. How many times in the last 5 years have both soccer teams, volleyball, and field hockey made the ODAC semifinal in the same season? 3 times, 2013, 2014, and of course, this year, 2016. Now let's get to one of the coaches from one of the teams that's going to be a part of this weekend, Miss Jenny Smith of field hockey. Coach, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, let's begin with the team right now that is arguably one of the hottest in the conference. And I'm talking about all the sports, doesn't even matter. Ending the season the way you guys did with finishing undefeated in the conference. In the middle of October, when you were coming back from your last road trip, and it was not a successful one in Pennsylvania, there's a lot of doubt about what this team was capable of doing and maybe what was wrong with them. We didn't know. You come out against Washington and Lee, and it's like a night and day difference. Do you remember, if you can, anything that happened in that week that maybe led to the great performance that has really carried the team to this point?
Well, we had an awesome week of practice that week. It was completely different level, and we can have placed it as this is the make or break. We got to step up this week. We got to win, because if we don't win, it could be the end of the season. Easily, still another downfall. So we picked it up. Practice was awesome, and we came into that game saying we got to win this or we could be done. And the girls stepped it up, and I mean, it was one of the best games we've played. So set a tone for the rest of the season, and tonight.
It's worked out to this point. Now, I will ask you from 2 sides of the equation, coaching and player. You were obviously a part of field hockey as an athlete as well, and we'll get to that in a minute. But during that road trip time, there was almost a whole month where you guys weren't playing at home. Is that an actual factor? I mean, does that become something of an issue, especially if you're not winning? We got to go back on the road again, and bus planning and meal planning and all those things. Does it become something that takes a toll?
I mean, it definitely was tough, especially with the little losing streak that we had. And it was tough for the girls, getting us rallied up for games, but I mean, it's just something you have to deal with. I mean, the girls, even though that we were losing, practice was still intense. It wasn't where we wanted to be. It was still, we got to change this. Right. It was still more the attitude more than, even though the outcome's not there, the girls still did an awesome job because they eventually picked it up.
And the results have spoken for themselves. I do want to ask about the team specifically, in that, is there one thing that you guys feel like is your strongest point going into the ODAC tournament? The one thing that you say, we're not touching it, it's fine the way it is, we're going to keep rolling with this?
I mean, we're just so unpredictable. I don't think teams can really predict what we're going to do, and I mean, we'll spice everything up. I mean, we'll show you tonight what we've got, and you can take a guess at what we have, but it might be the same. It might be something new.
I like the vagueness of that answer. That was really, really good. Great coaching, by the way. Don't want any of a bulletin board material, especially the day of the game, for sure. I will ask one thing, though. When it comes to tonight's game against Shenandoah, you've already played them. It was here. It was a close game. When it all came down to the final score, 3-2 was the final. It was an aggressive game, and you and I have talked about it. Danny and I have talked about it on the broadcast. Shenandoah plays that way. How do you, as a team, as a coaching staff, remind your players that they're going to be like this? We got to still be the way we are and play our style of hockey.
I mean, just like you said, we got to play Lynchburg hockey. Doesn't matter what they come in. If they come in physical, not physical, we play our style, and we have to get them to play our style. We don't change for them. We don't go to their level. We play our level, and everybody's got to rise to us. We had a lull where we started going down to play people's levels, and we're over that. So tonight is Lynchburg field hockey.
I like it. I like that a lot. Now, you, as a player, played at Michigan State, part of a Big Ten championship. When you look at that team and your experience with championship teams, does this team possess something that says, yeah, we're definitely capable of winning this whole conference championship?
Completely. They're just so we're so unpredictable. At the start of the season, teams were saying they lost last year. I mean, we didn't have the best start. No one predicted us to come out #1 seed, and here we are, and we're ready.
Ready to go. All right, I like it. Now let's talk about some lighter things. Let's talk about Jenny Smith, the person that's not on the field. And if you can't tell, she's not from America either, from Scotland originally, and we're happy to have you over here, obviously. But I do want to talk about a couple of things with your Scottish background, and one of the biggest things for me is the amount of sports that you played growing up, and whether it's indoor track or rugby and ballerina stuff. You know, why was it important for you to be involved in so many things at such a young age?
My parents just threw it all at me. They said, do it all, and then eventually you can choose. So, I mean, they gave me the options, and I loved loads. I could do, if I could do 5 sports a day, I would still do them, which is great that I had the opportunity to do that. I loved it, but it's just, it was just an experience to play them all and do them all.
And it makes you not afraid to try new things in life in general. So that is a great quality to have. There is an example of which you were doing one thing or 2 things on the same day on a Saturday, and you eventually decided to take the boys route, if you will.
Yeah, I had the ballet classes from like 7 till like 9:45, and I would get changed in the car, put my rugby gear on, and then go to rugby starting at 10 to 12, and then eventually said, I don't need the dancing, I'll just do the rugby. So my dad was happy with that.
Of course, yes, absolutely. I'm sure he was. Well, the last thing I want to talk about is I asked you a question about, okay, you've lived in both places, Scotland and the USA. What's better in Scotland than the USA? And you said breakfast, which Jenny loves food anyway, but the Scottish breakfast, what is it about this typical Scottish breakfast that's better than America's?
Well, I don't eat the pancakes and the waffles. We just have different stuff, like it's like baked beans. We have haggis.
For breakfast?
Yeah,
baked
for
beans.
breakfast.
Ooh.
Haggis. You can put baked beans on your toast, which makes it even better. We have a sausage, which is flat, because we like to be a little extra. It doesn't need to be a normal shape. We have bacon, tomato, your mushrooms.
What about the black pudding?
The black pudding, yeah.
You got to remember the black pudding. I mean, that seems to be the most questionable thing on the plate because of what's in it. You go ahead, tell them what's in it.
So black pudding is like blood of like sheep, and it's got a mix of like guts, but it's really good. I love it.
Okay, if you say so.
It's so good.
If you say so. Now, I mean, we've had people be converted. I mean, it sounds gross, but you know, people that you know have tried it and they like it as well. So, last thing, real quick, the sauce. What the sauce do you?
HP sauce.
HP sauce, and it's kind of a interesting mixture between barbecue and ketchup. Is that what you said?
Kind of. You put it on your fries. I mean, I put on absolutely everything possible, but it's just a mixture. But it's got a good little kick to it.
Now, that's something that your parents can bring with them on the trip over. Okay,
Yep.
So get your orders in now. Send Jenny Smith an email. Go to lynchburgsports.com and say, have her parents bring over some bottles of HP sauce for you, okay? Jenny, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Good luck this weekend on your run, and hopefully we'll be talking about bringing the trophy back to Lynchburg in just a little while. Thank you all so much for tuning in this week. We really appreciate your time. Remember, go to lynchburgsports.com all weekend for everything ODAC Championship weekend here at Lynchburg College and beyond. Remember, it's a great day to be a Hornet, and we are one nation.